The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the third day of April 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group, Medical House, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sancha Durham, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sister Sancha, where are you? Well, you know what?
Where am I?
I don't know. That background looks good.
Looks beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It's very early in the morning. It's still dark. I had to find a little spot to come and do the show. Everyone's sleeping. But I am in Mexico, in Tulum. This hotel is beautiful. So beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. The wedding is finally here. The wedding I've been speaking about for months now. We're here.
Folks, it's not her wedding. I know you all's like, well, where's my invite? No, it's not hers. Not hers. She wouldn't have invited us anyway, by the way, just letting you know, folks. We wouldn't have gotten an invite.
Listen, if I get married, I'm gonna elope.
I got you. Well, Sandra, it was your birthday on Saturday. Tell us, how was your birthday weekend? What'd you do? Let us know. We didn't get an invite to the party.
Birthday weekend, it was very quiet. I was in New York, and it's so funny. So I was with one of my girlfriends, Zoe, and she was like, "So what do you want to do? What do we have planned?" But I was just like, you know what? For me, no plans is a plan. Like if I can actually do nothing, but in saying that, so I went to MJ the musical again. Never gets old. Amazing. One of my favorite restaurants. I don't like for years now has been Philippe Chow's. I went to Philippe Chow's and they just treated me like a queen. And I ate and I had listened to great music, and that was enough for me. And the day of my birthday, I did nothing at all. And that made me happy.
No sense. You know, Sherry often says, "Oh, stop being like that," because I don't really look at people's statuses because I just don't have the time. But I try to look at you guys' statuses on WhatsApp at least. I try to stay involved because Sherry gets on me about being this person. Anyway, I was like, Sancha's having a damn good weekend. Sancha never shares food. At least I never noticed her sharing food. I never. Right? And I'm like, Sancha's having a good time, letting loose, eating food, whatever. Just it was honestly, I was happy to see you just letting loose, relaxing, doing your thing, and I'm glad that you had a great birthday.
I did that for you, partially for you. I was like, you know what? Another year around the sun. I'm going to document this. And Jamal's going to be so proud of me because I actually posted stuff.
See, look at that, folks. Look at that. And I actually looked. Look at that. Look at that, folks. I check it out. Good morning to you as well, Karen Simmons. She says, happy April to you. Sancha, I hope you had a blessed birthday. Stay safe. Great to see Charles J out this weekend. Palm Sunday walk.
Nice.
All right. I used to do that with my nana when I was younger, the Palm Sunday walk. Look forward to it. No blisters on my feet back then. I was good for it. But Sherry Vanderpool says, morning, Sanch, birthday looked awesome. Yeah. Folks, well, as you can see, we do have a new title sponsor of the show, which I'm very excited about, BAC Group. So stay tuned. We'll be doing a lot of fun things with them coming up. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we're going to focus on the Belco situation. it's a lot of talk, and I think it's more than politics. We're talking about the lives of people, and so we're going to get into that, and we're going to focus on Maya's got some very interesting stories in her news break. We just finished Q1, and for those who don't know, in the business world, it's really looked at, the calendar year is looked at as 4 quarters, right? The first 3 months, second 3 months, third 3 months, fourth, right? So we're going to be looking at the first quarter based on whatever Maya decides to report this morning. Folks, if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to our website and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we continue to do our part to improve our community. So let's get into it. So there's been a lot of talk about Belco over the last, I want to say a few years, actually. And even last week, we spoke about the media because MP and former Minister Zandy Silva spoke about, basically seems like it's a media attack on the current CEO, head, whatever his title is, at Belco, being it's about him because these Belco problems didn't just begin, which I just think is ridiculous. At the end of the day, Sancha, if you decide to go and take a job somewhere today, you must understand as that individual that if that place has a reputation of something that's not good, then you're going to fall in line and be a part of that, right? It comes with the territory. To actually act as if this is racial or anything but, this is where accountability comes in. And if it's one thing I don't like to beg, but I beg everyone in this audience, I beg all of my colleagues on this show, if I'm doing wrong, please don't protect me. Please don't tell me, oh, Sherry doesn't. I'm gonna be honest, Sherry doesn't. She may not do it on air, but Sherry she doesn't.
Just gonna give you a talk.
And I'm being real, right? I'm not saying the others don't. I'm not saying Sancha doesn't. I'm not saying Larry doesn't. I mean, but what I'm saying, I'm using her as an example because I could beat her up. She's not here right now. But Sherry doesn't, and we will have our conversation and go at it. What I'm simply saying is we have a very dangerous society when, and I'm going to I'll use the CEO guy, the former minister, Wayne Keynes. When you defend this person simply because they're on your team, whether it be family, friend, or colleague, at the end of the day, it's not about him. It's about the organization he works for. You're the one making it about him. I will continue to say on this show and continue to say on this show, I don't care if it's my most loved family member. I don't reward or protect a bad behavior. And I encourage you all not to do it with me. We have a very dangerous society when we come and protect all that's wrong in our community, and it sets a precedent. So the question of the morning is, what needs to be done to resolve the Belco situation? This is not about individuals, folks. The Royal Gazette just reported high levels of metals found in tanks around Belco. So the story just goes on. High levels of aluminum, iron, and magnesium. That's not magnesium. That's magnesium. Have been found in water tanks in Pembroke using testing carried out in accordance with Belco operating license requirements. Wayne Keynes, the president of Belco and its parent company, Liberty, confirmed the findings in an opinion piece that appears in the Royal Gazette today. In it, he also outlined new mitigation measures that are being carried out to address pollution associated with the North Power Station, which was commissioned in April 2020. That's very responsible of Belco, I would say, right? But then you had, what's his name? Jason Hayward, right? Jason Hayward. I just want to find a tweet so you all know what we're talking about, right? So a lot of people were sending me side messages, and if you're not Sancha, Sherry, or one of the members of the show, I'm not answering you. You should probably know that by now. But few of you wanted to ask, what's the tweet? Where's the tweet? Well, get Twitter, number one, or keep up to date on your own, because I'm not here to bail you out for what of which you don't know unless you're tuned into this show. So Jason Hayward says, well, Belco tweeted last week, our neighbors' concerns are our concerns. We will continue to share information, communicate, and listen, right? And they said to learn more about it and had a link. Well, this guy, the Minister of Economy and Labor, the Honorable, well, I don't know if it's honorable yet, but Jason Hayward says, Belco, your neighbors simply want clean air and clean water. What the entire, oops, my phone, entire, look, brother minister, let's be clear, brother minister, your colleague, Wayne Keynes, who sits on the same side as you, well, I don't know if physically because you got so many numbers, but he's on your team. He's the CEO of the organization, sir. He's the CEO. Why are you going on Twitter to type that when you can literally just say, yo, bro, fix this, and it needs to be fixed by this time, or I'll be pushing for legislation that's going to change it, and da 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 da. Folks, what needs to be done to resolve the Belco situation? Is it legislation? This is about people's lives. People are getting sick. Bermudians, we heard about what happened in Flint and Mississippi with water. What about? Are we concerned enough? Do we care enough? What are your thoughts? What needs to be done to resolve the Belco situation, Sanj? I know you got something for me.
Listen, although I've been on vacation, we have been going back and forward, and I've been keeping up to what's going on. And Jamal, you mentioned something. Yes, Wayne Keynes came into this position when things were, there were things that were already going on. But I think that when you are taking on a new role, those are some of the deciding factors as to whether, morally, this is something that you are able to take on and be okay with it. If you're looking to say, I'm coming into this is not where I'm not okay with this morally, and we need to clean this up and make it better, then that's the position that you took, that's the stance that you took, and that's what the avenue that you're looking to go with it. You cannot now say, I came into here, this was already happening, like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the whole world, everyone is moving towards renewable energy. Everyone. We have a new plant, a whole new system at Belco. And you're telling me that this new system that you guys installed, nobody thought about renewable energy there? You're engineers. We are living on an island. Who thought that this system was the best system for Bermuda? And you all invested in this. And now look where we're at. You know what I mean? It's hard. And now when we're talking about Jason Hayward, we're gonna have to take your phone, sir. Somebody is gonna have to take your phone, because it almost feels to me like this was supposed to be a PR stunt. Like, we are here for you, and it backfired on you.
Yeah.
There is no way you should be Jamal. That's like you saying something on this show today, and I'm gonna say, did you hear what Jamal said? Somebody needs to stop him. I'm right here.
Yeah.
It's absurd to me.
Yeah.
And once again, this comes back to us having to do better. We have to do better, because these are the people that are being held accountable for our well-being. And what are we going to do? We're going to sit back. We're going to like giggle at the tweet, like, this guy, and nobody is going to stand up for what is believed in. I mean, look at this. As soon as a lady gets pregnant, right? The first thing they tell you to do is stay away from heavy metals. You cannot eat tuna. You can't have swordfish. You can't, all of these things that have heavy metal. So now you're telling us on a day-to-day basis that having heavy metals out in the environment, it's okay. We're going to be okay? No.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah.
Like, aluminum alone leads to dementia and just all sorts.
Yeah.
You talk about magnesium. I just looked it up. I'm like, it can't be good. You're talking about cardiovascular complications. All of, like, maybe everyone should do their own research to figure out what this is doing to us. And I don't think it's just affecting the people directly in Belco, We are a small island. That stuff travels. It's not just this 1 mile radius. We all need to look at this, and don't say it's not in my backyard, so I don't care. It's our island.
Sencha, everything you just said, it hits home for me. And I'll tell you why. As I read it all the time, something you just said is it's not just those who live in that vicinity. Bermuda is very small. I lived Marsh Folly where I can see the stuff coming up from Belco, the air, my entire life, the smoke coming out of the machines over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember, people in my area getting sick and people wondering if it was fumes from the Pembroke dump that caught up with people. Where the incinerators located? As a young person, I always thought, why couldn't it be at like Paget Island or one of those islands offshore? All of this stuff taken, that stuff like that, right? I always wondered that. But I'm glad you said what you said, because we tend to think, oh, it's not around. I don't live around that area. I live in Southampton.
Yeah.
Folks, Bermuda's very small. I've been concerned about it, and I'll tell you when I became concerned. And I'm not joking when I say this. When I first moved to the U.S. 2001, and I know a lot of people in here have either been to school or lived in Huntsville, Alabama, but I didn't realize that what they're called telephone wires, electricity poles. I didn't realize they were not everywhere. And I started to read articles when I first got to the US that your chance of cancer and stuff like that rises as if you're close to certain things, right? And Bermuda being so small, it was normal to see these lines everywhere. Normal to see them. And then when I'm in Alabama, you don't really, and I'm wondering, is it underground? I don't see as many electricity poles, at least at that time. I think we always talk, and I'm going to go here about human rights, right? Which is a lie. When Bermudians who want like something like same-sex marriage, they'll say, we need to catch up with the rest of the world. Well, the rest of the world's not necessarily doing that. But your point is, well, we're so far behind. We're not really, but okay. But why don't we ever say that with the same conviction about things like electricity? Every hurricane comes and afterwards, and the lights out and Belco's out there, and people are like, when are we going to do underground? And it's always the same story, right? Always the same story. I honestly believe this, that our priorities are so screwed up because we usually prioritize what's important to us in the moment, not what's important to us in the long term. And this is a conversation that should have been happening for decades. This is something that we shouldn't be talking about now. And let me just go back to what I said when I started. This is not about Wayne Keynes. This is not about the PLP. This is not even about the government. This is about the people of Bermuda. This is about every last living being being able to live in an environment that's safe, an environment where they're not threatened by sickness due to a private company doing what they're doing. Now, question, audience, we'll get to you. I know we've been talking a lot. What needs to be done to resolve the Belco situation? So renewable energy, Karen Simmons says, wind turbines offshore, no offshore. Well, there are activists, and Maya could correct me if she's wrong because I know she does a lot of research, but I know there's activists who have said no because this is killing wildlife. Like apparently there was some article, I could be wrong, but I believe it was an article I read when I was reading about the Belco situation. And I'm so sorry, folks, that I didn't bring it up, but there was an article that said that the reason so many whales are turning up dead is because of this. Now, again, I could have just, I might be, don't quote me on any of that, but I want to say there were a group of activists saying that wind turbines are, I guess something in the noise is attracting whales, something to that nature. Don't quote me, but I just want to let you know that I did come across something. Silas Lynch says a class or action lawsuit in Canada would make them listen. We as a country can do this, and it's quite easy. Well, right, because the company's Canadian owned, right? Interesting. Any legal experts out there that believe? Any legal experts out there that can offer some insight into that? Sam Cat plays for you, Sancho.
Sorry, Jamal.
Oh, sorry. Sam Cat Play says, first of all, we need to cut the nepotism. So in actuality, it does start with the people at the top. So now a political move has been made. Now look where we are. Take all the politicians' phones away. And I take your point. I'm not going to disagree with you because, as Sanchez said, you got into that position. You're a politician. And your colleagues are politicians. How do we fix it? I take your point, Sam. I simply, what I'm saying is, I don't think that take away politics and this problem still exists is my point. That's my point. I'm not saying that it's I mean, at the end of the day, the CEO of the organization is a politician. Nobody forced him to do that. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, do you believe that because Belco is owned by foreign owners, that they really don't have a vested interest in the local economy? I think that vested
local environment.
Local environment. I think that vested interest is really about revenue and profit. I mean, that's the
Jamal, let me just step in. I'm not at Belco every day, but have we seen anybody get on a plane to come back and try to sort it out? If they were vested in our environment, this is their system that they've, installed. It's a new system. I don't see anybody backtracking to say, hey, guys, let me come and help you out and see what's going on over here. Let's switch a few things out and make this better. That's not happening. So, no, I don't think that they have an interest in our environment at all. They have their money. See you later.
And truth be told, I mean, at the end of the day, they have a monopoly, right? So they're not going to be suffering. They're going to be making their money regardless. So I think it's an interesting situation. And they have the perfect preacher out front, right? Wayne Keynes is, people seem to like him. He's got that preacher mode about him. So he'll continue to say things that sound good. But I think, thankfully, we're in a place where Bermudians, they don't care about words anymore. You don't care about words. It's more than words these days. What Bermudians seem to care about more than anything is action. And at the end of the day, we're not seeing the action that's improving our environment. It's time for Maya. Yeah, it's time for Maya. I just want to ask one more question, Sandra.
Yeah, here we go.
Be honest, audience. Yes or no? Do you believe that the CEO of the company is responsible for what's currently going on at Belco? Do you believe the CEO is responsible? Let us know, yes or no. Do you think the CEO bears the responsibility for what's happening with Belco? We're going to bring Maya in for the news break, and we'll see what you say. But yes or no, do you think the CEO is responsible?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Greetings, Sister Maya. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. As you can see, we've been having a conversation about Belco, which I really do wish, and I say this to you too and the audience, I do wish that Wayne Keynes was not the CEO of the parent company. And the reason I say that is because my hope is to have an honest conversation with the audience and Bermudians without the political feelings. It's really hard to have a conversation about something so important without the political feelings. Just look at Zandy Silva and his comments acting as if, oh, now this black PLP MP is there, and that's what it's all about. And I really think it's much bigger than that. It's much bigger than that. But before we brought you in, Maya, I asked the audience, do they believe that the CEO deserves, is responsible for it? And a few answers we got. Traveling Trotty says yes. Karen Simmons says yes. Sam Catplay says yes. So I'm going to just say consensus is yes. I think it goes back to what Sanchez said. Though these issues existed before he got there, once you take up that position, you take on the responsibility of all that the organization represents. So
Can I
I
answer
think,
that?
yeah.
I actually say no.
Mhm.
I don't think it is his responsibility, but I do think now, because as you say, it
Mhm.
happened before his time, but I do think now that he has a responsibility to try to make it better. Like, you have come into this, you knew what you were getting into, I'm pretty sure, and now it is your responsibility to do better.
Well, I think to that sense, you got to realize when people only care about titles and prestige and ego, they're going to accept these positions regardless of what comes to with it. You got to remember, people will appoint CEOs, right? A lot of the reasons, not because they're the best person for the job, but because of optics and how it looks. Oh, we're looking for a certain face. We're looking for a certain voice in the community. And that's what they do until it backfires and they realize, Bermudians are a bit smarter. They're not going to be swayed by the preacher style anymore. They want action. I'm so sorry, Maya. We're just taking
I
up.
know you
Yeah,
shouldn't
Maya.
force you in yet. we were ready.
Sitting back enjoying. She ain't even be like, "Hey guys, I'm yo."
No, it's an important conversation, so I'm happy to hear it. And I was just thinking when you guys are talking that history has shown us that if we don't sacrifice something, there will be no victory. So if this is something that the community wants as a whole, then we have to sacrifice, like whether it be boycotting or whatever it is. History has shown us that extreme measures need to be taken in order for things to be changed, especially within government. So those are things that like lessons have taught us when it comes to this circumstances. It's not just a government issue. If community wants things to change, the community has to put some sacrifices behind it, unfortunately. But that's all that history has showed us.
I went big just now because I just wanted to see what your shirt said.
Maya, when I saw that shirt, Jamal, we all need one of these.
Yeah, yeah.
Maya, can I need the link for that
I'll
shirt.
send you
I
the
need
creator that I love. This creator, she always comes up. I post it sometimes on me and mine. She goes, "I'm gonna keep it black, I'm gonna keep it brief," and then she dives into like the latest pop culture things or things that are affecting politics.
need one.
I love it. I love it. Real quickly, and I listened to everything you said. I agree. I was just like, nah, people, you need to focus. She's sending messages this morning. But real quickly, a couple more responses. Nicole Walker says yes, and so is every other member of the executive and board. Laverne Tucker says yes. Michelle White, yes, as with any company. Michelle White says if Belco was a sports team, the CEO would be fired like they do with the sports coach. Interesting. Wow. Yeah.
What you got for us, Maya?
Over to you, Maya.
Well, I know we talked about this being the start of the fiscal year. I just want to also remind everyone this is also start of April month. So that means that I can report on some of the road traffic fatalities that we have had so far this year, 2023, as we start a new month. So I'm going to dive into this. I have a graphic that I'm going to show you guys. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a trigger warning because it does have the names of those who passed and then some added information as I'm really trying to get the stats going along so people can visually see these things. And I'm hoping that if we see the names and we see how old they are, we see what happens and we see the consistency of who are the people who keep dying on these roads, then maybe we'll have a bigger impact in wanting to change things. So as a reminder, there was a call for road safety state of crisis on March the 15th by the Minister of National Security, saying that we kind of fall into an epidemic that is very alarming and that he had some suggestions of either, suggesting of temporary painting over the island's center lines yellow to discourage overtaking or limiting motorcycles to 50 cc's to reduce speeding. So from that, here is some of the stats that I have gathered this morning. So here we see it. Just take a moment of the names of those persons who we have lost on the road so far in 2023, the day, the ages, the gender, the race, the parish in which the fatality happened, and the vehicles that they were using. So I'll give you guys a moment to look at that while I continue on. What I can say about these statistics is, yes, it's hard to look at, and we're kind of falling into a dangerous zone right now in 2023. This is a lot of fatalities for only just coming up to our 4th month for deaths already. And the month of April has not even, we just began it. In 2021, we still had the worst number ever, which was 17 fatalities. And from that fatality, I have a bit of information from there that, from those stats of 2021, 9 of those who died were 35 years and younger. and 15 of them were males. And that's the stats in 2021, which was the worst year that we had with 17 fatalities. Right now, in 2023, these are the stats that you see in front of you.
All right. So based on Q1, we're trending towards 16 deaths. All Black males, 38 and older, if I read that correctly.
I was actually surprised at the age. That was one of the ones. I'm happy that you did this to put it into perspective for us. I was expecting like a younger age group, and to look at the age, it kind of shows you that it can happen to anyone, right?
Yeah.
It can really happen to anyone.
And when you think about it, these are still really young ages. And because of the 2021 stats, what I had done before, like 17 is such a high number. And when you think of like 9 of them being 35 and younger, the youngest was 16 who had died that year. And the fact that most of them are always seem to be males and Black males at that. So I do want to add this last video, which was taken from the Murders in Paradise lecture. This was Camille, doctor, who shared these statistics and a sort of a theory. So I'm going to play it for you. It's a short clip.
A theory of mine, because a desire to live on the edge may also manifest in the spreading of road traffic accidents. If we look at this a little bit deeper, I believe that it's not so distant of an issue to believe that if we are looking at road traffic accidents, some people may be familiar with the idea of contact sports, and they may have heard of a term called traumatic brain injuries. Is it so far-fetched to believe that many of these young men who have experienced these road traffic accidents have suffered from traumatic brain injuries? Now again, this may sound far-fetched and I'm just throwing it out there, but one of the side effects for traumatic brain injuries is irrational thoughts and behaviors and increased aggression.
So that even makes you think even further, right? Because if you ask yourself or know someone who's been in a serious collision or accident and what the behaviors are, like try to link that together somewhere.
Far-fetched at all. Not far-fetched at all. But what upsets me a lot is that in Bermuda, we do not have the facilities to support this. And we send these people out on their own at home. You have a head injury and it's nothing more that we do for them. And I think that this is something that another thing that we need to look into.
From 2019 to 2022, we've had over 100 serious road collision accidents. That's not even counting the minor ones, but the serious ones, over 100 every single year from 2019 to 2022. So I just want everyone in the audience to like think about someone who you may have known who have gotten in a serious accident. Look at the behaviors, maybe even ask them questions, or even if you know someone who is going down a wrong path, think, did they have a serious collision? Did they have a serious accident? Could this be linked with it at all? Like, I think this theory that Camilla came up with or even suggested really sparked the light in me too, to think like, could these be linked in the persons who, commit these serious violent acts as well?
Yeah, I always say, Maya, we only seem to think road fatalities are the accidents. And there are so many accidents that take place on our roads. Just because someone is not fatal doesn't mean it's not, I guess, serious.
Like life-threatening for the rest of your life, things that will impede the rest of your life.
And it's interesting that she mentioned that, because even, we have children playing sports at young ages. And I don't know if there's a rule in Bermuda, but I know like in certain countries and spaces, they're not allowed to head a ball in football until a certain age because their brains are not fully developed, and then they're hitting it with certain parts of the head that it's not good. Like things like that may play a role. But I like the fact that she dug deeper to make people think that many of these children, they didn't wake up and decide to be violent. It's not because they have bad parents or bad upbringing all the time. Like there may be trauma that, as Sancha mentioned, we're not even equipped to deal with or interested in looking into or considering to look into. So
there outside, if I could just mention, and I know I've mentioned it on this show before, that the level of brachial plexus in Bermuda is so high. I don't know if people know what brachial plexus is.
Nope.
brachial plexus, we have lots of people that are getting in accidents on bikes and they are left without the movement of their arm and in Bermuda, the level of brachial plexus is huge. So not only are you dealing with the trauma of your injury, but imagine what that does to you mentally. You have been living a normal life, a healthy life, and then all of a sudden you have brachial plexus. We do not have the facilities to support this, and we do not have the facilities to support the high levels of traumatic head injuries. So
Wow. Yeah. And I want to touch on, Sherry said something as well, because I picked it up. She said, very surprising at age, and parishes as well, ironically, all on the west side. And again, when you share data, Maya, and I always say, folks, data is the numbers. Now it's up to us to figure out what in those numbers is. So is it the roads on the west side? Like, is it the like lack of development, like the pavement? Like,
if you look at it, I'm sure if there was a study done, a lot of these accident sites are frequent accident sites. So we can do something to look. I mean, everybody, if you look at the parish that you live in, I'm sure you know 2 or 3 frequent accident spots. These are the spaces where we need to go and we need to take a look and say, how do we make these areas safer? Because the accidents keep happening in these individual spots.
Yes.
And I'm just going to close this section of the news break out just by saying, like, as the minister came up with those ideas to have those certain things done, again, I'm glad to be able to bring some statistics forward to see, like, well, in what areas is it happening the most and where can we fix specifically to actually address it. So
Maya, can I give you a hug? Honestly, thank you. No, seriously, thank you. We really love and appreciate the work that you put into bringing us this information. So thank you.
It's cool because we're not just speaking it. Like, we're able to actually, for you to go and gather the statistics, and we're able to say to people, no, this is really happening.
Yeah.
It adds validity to it. So, hug, Maya.
Thank you, guys. I mean, it's always out there, but it is very interesting when you see it, like, by plain and clear in your face all together. It really sparks something different in your brain to realize, like, I can't believe it's all males, I can't believe they're all Black, I can't believe they're all over this age, and I can't believe it's all in the West End. Like, things that you didn't know just because I report on them every single time here. Putting it all together makes a big difference. Okay, moving on to the next news segment. As we know, the fiscal year has ended and now we're starting a new budget year. So now we're actually going to get to see or have the realization of the 2023-2024 budget come into action. I will have a further story on that personal media Maya this week, and I'll bring it here to the Daily Hour as well, so you guys get to see. Basically, I want to go through the budgets of what has been given to each and every ministry, whether it's different from last year, what they got this year, and what are they going to do with it. So I'm going to bring that here to you guys as well. Now, moving on, over the weekend, we had the 441 Showcase. That is an art showcase at Masterworks for new and emerging artists in Bermuda. And tons of people came to this event. And it was almost like a fashion show, as you can imagine, for like different artists in Bermuda wanting to come and view this art. They always dress like art as well. So here's a quick little video that I made of the night.
Nathaniel Benega Northcott, Nikki Richardson, Yassine Shantoff, and Dion Easton are 4 new up-and-coming artists in Bermuda who are featured in this year's 441 Masterworks Showcase. Many people turned up for the opening night, and I got to speak with some of the artists, like Yassine.
This is the challenge that we have to get through to show you the art. Give me your hand.
Yassine is a Bermudian artist and has been producing art in various forms like music, modeling, photography, painting, and more.
Hi. Okay, so this is a good corner to show you my art in. Like, I've been drawing like that since I was a kid. So it's an abstract style that I've been developing over a few years, and then a lot of it is very emotional, and a lot of it is just explorations. This one was just like pain, just like pure pain. Like, I got really upset. I was listening to some really sad music, and so that's where all the handprints are from. You can see one right here. That's where all the handprints are from.
Now, the crowd of people made it hard to navigate, but it also expressed the love of art on the island. Yassine's paintings leave space for interpretation and allow you to feel what you wish to feel, but others, like Nikki's photography, give you no option for interpretation.
As far as the pieces are concerned, they speak for themselves, literally.
What he means is that if you download an app, you can hover over the image and they reveal a video on the subject. And that video is the subject expressing how they feel and how the world views them.
Hi, it's the Under Creative. Hey, hi. Okay, cool, so we're gonna talk. So this whole section up to those 4 right there is all of the CBG boxing boys that went down to Bahamas. So it's my favorite photos from there.
Now, Dion has been working on his photography and his documentary style.
Goes into a little interview with Adrian about being the next tradition bearer for boxing. And then the rest of it is me getting ready for the show and doing an interview with Moss, kind of explaining the process behind things and what's coming next, all that.
All these artists have a presence on social media, and I asked Dion, what is the difference between showing your work physically versus online?
The amount of people that walked up to me is like, I love it, is I think I know why social media gets the hate it does, because someone going, hey, I love your work, versus a double tap is completely different. Like it warms your heart in such a different way.
I didn't get the opportunity to speak to Nathaniel, but they are a fashion designer, entrepreneur, and visual artist. And their work, along with the others, will stay up at the Rick Ferris Gallery until April 25th.
That was awesome.
I mean, look, I'm just gonna share like this. Karen Simmons says Maya News is the best. Nachika Traveling Trotty says, kudos to you, Maya, for your reporting. Angeline Butler, thanks for this, Maya. And Sherry Shut 'em Down Vanderpool says, this is so cool, Maya. No, honestly, Maya, I want to say this. I just, seeing that makes me, you can't go back in time, but I really do wish I was able to appreciate art as a younger person, because at this age, it's like, wow, like it's almost like learning a new language for me at times. But it's just, man, folks, you've got to go to galleries. You have to actually experience an event like that to understand. I was only lucky enough to do it because I was in tourism, but it must have been amazing to be there and engage with so many people about what they're trying to share, the messages they're trying to share through art.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot you can take from it. Like you can hear me and you can hear me report the news and what's going on in the island, but when you get it from a different medium, a different perspective of art and creativity, you get to see from the eyes of somebody else, from different eyes of others. So there's always different observations. Like recently I was with my mom. She's an art teacher. I was helping her gather all the artwork for the students at the schools right now. And we're like plastering everything, putting on the boards and getting things ready for showcases. And while I was there, I was just thinking like, I really am lucky to be raised in such a like theater art household, because I observe things so much different because of art, because I had that experiences. So big ups to the artists here and what they're doing right now on the island.
Yeah, no, for sure. And thanks again, Maya, for bringing that to us front and center so that people can get a feel of what it is that's going on in the art space.
Now, closing on some of the news, I know we were talking about Belco, but I did want to have a short conversation about that the Parliamentary Registry has formally announced that a municipal election is due to take place on Thursday, May 11th. So that's coming up quite quick. The City of Hamilton is encouraging all business ratepayers in City of Hamilton to ensure that registration details is up to date, and they have to register by Thursday, April 6th. So they really don't have a lot of days to actually get that done. So if you're not registered and you're in the City of Hamilton, you got to get that done fast. Now, there hasn't been a municipal election for City of Hamilton, I believe, since 2019. I was looking at elections.gov.bn for the mayor, and I believe this is just for the City of Hamilton and not also for St. George's.
So do we know who the candidates are for like the mayor?
They didn't say, but I mean, the last one, which Charles Gosling won, he went uncontested. So there might not be, or if there is, and that'll be something to stir up the pot and actually be kind of interesting to see the election go forward.
I wonder if someone can be like a sitting MP and also like mayor of Hamilton. I wonder. I do wonder. I don't know if there's rules or laws against that, but I wonder if it would make sense for a sitting MP to run. Otherwise, I vote for Sandra. Can you run?
I don't want that headache.
Okay,
I don't think she can if she's not in the City of Hamilton as a...
You have to have a business there, right?
Business there or be...
Excuse me, you ought to know what I have.
Sorry.
I didn't. No, I just said.
Do you not know where Yosha's building the official Yoshi building is. Don't play with me. Come on.
Okay, so well, I think you should run, and then we'll get our signs. Maya and I be standing out front talking about vote for Santa.
I don't want that headache.
Okay, fine. Never mind then.
Listen. I'm a year wise. I'm 43 years old now, and I choose my battles wisely.
Yeah. Well, you see what Sister Sherry said? Shut it down, Saints. Shut them down and shut it down. What else you got, Maya?
I'm about to close up the news, but I did want to fall into a report if I can find it real fast. Do I have the time, or should I close out? I have the time? Okay. Because there was a press release that came into my emails the other night, and I read through it, and it was about a statement from the Shadow of Home Affairs Minister Scott Pearman with the Honorable Walter Wabane. It has to do with Zane De Silva's island construction business and the approval of the site as an industrial zone for them to build more containers on the land on Devonshire Marsh. So this press statement coming from the Shadow Minister of Home Affairs says, in November of 2011, Minister Walter Wabane was forced to resign from Paula Cox's cabinet. The minister quit amidst allegations of corruption of the planning process. This planning scandal engulfed the minister, who decided to overrule a technical officer's decision blocking PLP MP Zane De Silva from building an environmentally protected land on Devonshire Marsh. So that happened in 2011. The deputy premier, now former minister at the time, decided to resign because it looked shady, and he didn't want that to be linked with the PLP government. Now here it is, Mr. Wabane intervened to allow PLP Collect to build warehouse on the marshland. This is what's being stated from the Shadow Minister. When accused of acting corruptly and unethically behavior, Minister Wabane swiftly resigned, admitting that his actions had brought about questions of the government's integrity and accusations of corruption. The PLP's 2011 decision to allow PLP MP Zane De Silva to build on Devonshire Marsh was swiftly reversed by new Minister Mark Bean. The same Mark Bean who later quit the PLP, leveling his own accusations of unethical behavior in his party's ranks. Yet, here we are again, over 11 years later, Minister Wabane is back in the very same hot seat. Despite a strong no from an independent planning inspector, Minister Wabane has again decided to grant PLP colleague Zane De Silva permission to build on the reserve at Devonshire Marsh. When this happened a decade ago, Premier Paula Cox determined that Walter Wabane must resign. Why does Premier David Barrett take a different view of these very same accusations now? And I actually went further on to look at the articles posted in the Gazette from that time of 2011 as to what had happened on those times. And there actually was a lot of statements even made.
I think you better let Maya finish her news break and then discuss this. We don't want to get Maya in no trouble.
There were articles in there saying from inspectors who stated that, having these things there will possibly enhance the fire risks that do happen at Devonshire Marsh. A lot of fires do start there. I think since I've worked at Noah's Ark, there have been 2 fires down there. But it also stated that the property was deemed as an industrial site by the courts as well, which also helped to gain the approval this time around. And that is the end of my news break, everyone. If you're wondering what the weather is looking like today, it's going to be sunny skies interrupted by a few cloudier spells, but hopefully no rain at all. And we have a high of 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, so let me just say this.
Can I go first?
Exactly. I think we should take her out and then have the discussion.
I need to add anything to that report. It is what it is. I just want to remind people that a government is only going to do what its people allow. Santa, what's the day of the year?
Today is World Aquatic Animal Day. Did you know that the ocean contains about 1 million different species? Learn about marine life, visit an aquarium, or raise awareness about the threats to the ocean. Most humans do not live underwater, so it's easy to forget the vast array and variety of aquatic animals that populate the ocean, seas, lakes, and other bodies of the water of our planet. Aquatic animals may breathe air, or extract oxygen through their gills or skin, and they may live in either fresh water or salt water. But no matter what the differences are, one thing for sure, aquatic animals deserve to be noticed and appreciated.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the most humans
Stop
don't live
looking
on
like that, you know?
like most humans don't live. What humans do? Are we talking scuba divers, maybe, or like people in the tanks that live under the water?
Yeah, maybe
Like
it was like a
probably?
little take
Probably
on.
scientists.
No, I was going to say something that would have upset Peter and like, the vegans out there, but I'm going to just enjoy my fish on my plate later. Real quickly, Phil had said something, and I just want to say this. I have it written on my whiteboard right here. We weren't going anywhere without me saying this. I just want to give a big congratulations to North Village Community Club, folks. Yes. The FA Cup champions. Yes. Look, you all know I have so much respect for Somerset, PHC, every club in Bermuda that's still putting up the best in terms of football. But North Village to stop a PHC team, mind you, they were without their best player, their captain Marco Warren. But hey, the players on the day still have to show up. Props to North Village coming back, beating PHC 2-1 in the FA Cup finals yesterday. So thank you, Phil, making sure that we don't forget to give honor. But before we go, and I want to say this while Maya's here, we're going to take a break, come back. I don't know if you all have been following the NCAA US college basketball. But yesterday was the finals between the two women teams of LSU, Louisiana State University, and Iowa State. And I follow it, even though I may not tweet or talk about it. And I followed the Gamecocks, South Carolina, the most. Coach Dawn Staley doing it big down there. They were undefeated, lost to Iowa State. And Dawn Staley gave a very emotional press conference the other day, basically saying her black girls are not thugs, they're not this, they're not that. Like, just respect them. Caitlin Clark, a white girl who's very good at basketball, dominant. She talks trash, whatever. Angel Reese of LSU literally does her celebration back to her, and all of a sudden, she's this, she's that. Caitlin Clark does it. She comes from a good home. Oh, it's just excitement how they celebrate. I'm gonna tell you here and now, I'm a bit sick and tired of the way that black women are labeled for simply enjoying life, celebrating life. I'm sick of it. And I think it's our duty as black men to really stand up and speak for it. Because if you saw my Twitter last night, I don't respond and go at people. I just don't. I say what I'm going to say on my own. But I called quite a few people out of their names on Twitter last night. We're not going to do that. These are young black women in college celebrating something. And just because are you telling me that a young white girl can taunt and do all this, but a black woman can't? Is that what we're saying? And if that's what you're saying, thank you for letting us know who you truly are. Congratulations to LSU. Maya, you want to say anything on that?
No, I've been following up too and watching the games and watching all the stuff that pops up on my social media because I love basketball and I love women in sports. So yeah, I saw that one this morning. I was actually going to post it on Media Maya after the show of Angel Reese's response to the media about how when she does something, she's labeled as ghetto and ignorant or like harsh. And when other players, we talk about Clark, does the same thing, nothing's being said, and it's just like, oh, she's wicked. Like it's cool. It makes it look cool, like an awesome player. But like the minute the black girl does it, it's like, oh, she's ghetto and she's being way too harsh.
Yeah.
Because she's black. Like the only reason is because she's black. Just say it. So it was annoying to see, but happy that she said something.
Absolutely. Maya, thank you so much for that news break. We're going to come back, got a couple of breaks left, folks. We'll come back right after this break, and we're going to touch on a few things that Maya spoke about in the news break. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to Maya for that extensive news break. And folks, if you haven't realized, every Monday we'll be doing an extensive news break with Maya going forward. She's doing a lot of work. And if you'd like to contribute, give back, thank you to Mark and Karen Simmons and Sean DeShields. Please just go on our YouTube page and you can hit join. It's only $2.99 a month to give back if you really appreciate the work that Maya and this team's doing. Very easy to do. Become a member of the TDH community. Thanks again to our sponsors, BAC Group, new title sponsor. Thank you to BAC Group, Medical House Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for believing in Maya and the work that she's doing to bring you that. But I just want to go back to the news break. I'm still stuck on the tragedies on our roads. And I guess the question today is enough being done? Just yes or no. This is a quick yes or no before we take our final break. Is enough being done to bring to an end the tragedies on our roads? Do you believe enough's being done, Sancha?
No, not at all. But, I think that we've gotten into a thing where we're desensitized to it, until it comes to our front door. This has been going on for years. It's getting worse now because bikes are getting faster, roads are more congested. But I'm sure everybody can think back to as young as, I remember road fatalities from when I was like 8 years old. My brother's friends that had died. Everybody has someone in their generation that has died from bike accidents. But now we're getting to a point where it's becoming too much. And I think there is a responsibility for us to really look at the roads, and where we can fix them, where we can make them better, I think we need to. There are plenty of known accident spots. We need to do some sort of surveys and figure out what's going on so that we can make it better.
Yeah. Do you have like
the bird?
Yeah, I was like, man, they got some interesting birds in Mexico. But no, Sancha, I take your point. One of the things when I was driving in Bermuda in December, I realized there were so many blind corners in different spots. Do I believe enough's being done? The truth, I don't think I can answer that question honestly, because I don't operate a vehicle in Bermuda regularly, right? But from the outside looking in, I think that there are things that they're trying to do that probably are not working, like the stop and search things, like the road traffic blocks or whatever they call them. I think that's an act where they think they're doing something that may be helping. I'm not quite sure we've benefited from it, though. I don't think that most Bermudians would say we're in a better spot. Sherry says no. Karen Simmons says no. So, I think I always say on this show, it's really down to us. If you drive a bit slower and with more courtesy, I guarantee you we'll have less accidents. Folks, we're going to take our final break and then come back and wrap it up. We've got the Daily Play. Do not go anywhere because it's Good Friday week. So we've got Bermuda Trivia, the holiday edition, and that's where the question's coming from today. And folks, Mr. Photogenic shared something with me that he asked Fire Wayne, who's dropping a new joint with DJ Rusty G in about 21 days. I'm sure it's going to be hot. But folks, you don't want to miss this question because Fire Wayne's response, I'm sure Mr. Photogenic will share it real soon publicly. But I want to see if you all better not be crazy like Fire Wayne. Stick with us.
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
All right, welcome back to the big show, Central Dorm. I'm Jamal Hartman. Thanks again to the BAC Group, Medical Wells, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we were to do this with you on a daily basis. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sandra, it's Good Friday, Easter trivia all week. Are you ready for your question?
Let's go.
All right, folks. Please don't get this wrong, because we're taking your entire Bermudian card if you do. It's multiple choice, so the answer's in here.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Which of the following ingredients is most likely to be in a Bermudian fish cake? Jerk seasoning, curry, cinnamon, or lemon pepper?
Corey.
Thank you, Sancha.
Corey. I'm not, so my fish cakes, I'm not a Corey fish cake girl, but I must say Miss Seymour, may she rest in peace, Maddox's grandmother, she used to do a fish cake with some Corey in it, boy. Ugh.
Folks, Sancha, everybody got curry.
Yeah, before Miss Seymour, I wouldn't have known that.
Everybody got curry. But folks, you heard the choices. Jerk seasoning, curry, cinnamon, and Shara's favorite wing flavor and pepper. Folks, hit up Mr. Photogenic and ask him what Fire Wayne said. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to give it to you.
I feel like he probably said jerk. He probably said jerk.
I'll let Mr. Photogenic share with you, folks. I will let him share with you. But it was quite funny. Let's give our final thoughts. Sancho, final thoughts on today's discussion about Belco, and then some of the things that Maya went through during her news break.
We've gone through a lot today, right? Yeah. So Belco, like this is not racial. It is not racial at all. And I wish we would stop trying to pull this card. I feel like the race card needs to be saved for when it's actually a racial situation. Let's stop using this when it suits us. It's not okay. And sometimes I feel like it's being said by Mr. De Silva because it makes them look good. Looks like you support us. Please stop. You knew what you were getting into, Wayne, and I feel like now it's time for you to pull your pants up, your socks up, the socks, right? Pull your socks up and do the work. It's time for you to make it better. And for those of you that think that it's only affecting that area, it's not. It's affecting Bermuda. Look at the high rates of cancer that we have in Bermuda. Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah.
With regards to, gosh, we covered so many things. I wanted to say about the roads. We said this before. It's been a lot of road works going on. At what point are we going to stop and say, hey, we need to repave the roads to make it smoother, to make it safer? That's one of the things that needs to be done. As far as the situation with Island Construction and Sir Mr. De Silva again, let's just say we have, and I hope that to the loyal PLP supporters, that they are saying to themselves that the PLP of yesterday is not the PLP of today. There is a different PLP, and you will keep marching to this ban that they're putting out there and protecting these things that they're doing, and it's shady. It's shade. And at some point, you're going to hold them accountable. If he was asked to step down in 2011, what makes it different now? It's the same situation. And now he just feels that he can do whatever he wants because no one is going to stop him. So let's see what happens in the next few days. Nothing. But we're saying that this shouldn't happen for a reason.
Yeah.
At some point, people, please, please hold your government accountable.
Yeah. Well, let me say, as far as the discussion in Belco, there's a problem. And, if you all feel like, if the current CEO feels like it's political, then make a decision. Choose one. Because I'm pretty sure people were harsh on Belco prior to the current CEO taking up that position. The only time people actually seem to like Belco is when they're out putting their lights back on after a hurricane, which is their job. Again, we're celebrating people doing their job. That said, we need to find a fix to this, and we need to find a fix to it yesterday. As far as the road fatalities, I just don't want to hear that we lost another life. I want us to go a bit slower. Folks, I don't care that I drive slower than others. I don't look, mind you, I'm not as bad as I once was. I don't like bad drivers in front of me. I will overtake you at this point in my life, but not if it's putting other people in danger. Just be respectful, courteous. Just think of others before yourself. That's what I was taught as a Boy Scout. Try it on all roads. It can save lives. I also want to touch on art. Maya gave a great story on art. And I continue to say I wish that I appreciated art much earlier on in life. Because through art, we really, really get to know more about so many things beyond the surface. And I just want to say before we head out that I think I speak on behalf of every member of Bermuda Communications Group and the Daily Hour when I say we are so thankful and happy to have BAC Group on board as a title sponsor. With BAC Group, Medical House, Lindo's, with NMAC, with People's Pharmacy, with ER Fisheries, we really hope that we can continue to have these conversations in an engaging manner so that, yes, the government can go back and look at these shows and take information from them and say, you know what? This may make sense if their egos allow for it. I believe, not just because I'm a part of it, but I believe that this show is an important part of the fabric of the Bermudian community. And it's not possible without private entities believing in what we do, and of course, the audience supporting what we do. Continue to say thank you to those who are part of the TDH community, the Karen Simmons, the Mark Arthur C. Phillips, the Weldon Wades, the Sean D. Shields, all of you. Because while we appreciate your comments, your engagement, and your feedback, for Maya to be able to do those stories, for us to do the research and to spend an entire Sunday yesterday editing, to give you and bring you the best, for us to continue to get the best guest on for you, it takes time and effort. So we appreciate it, and we are so grateful for your contributions, your financial contributions, and to our sponsors and partners. There's not enough thanks outside of doing our best to continue to put our best foot forward. Sancha, do you have any daily inspiration for us?
I do. The daily inspiration is brought to you by ER Fisheries. Self-control is strength. Calmness is mastery. You have to get to a point where your mood doesn't shift based on the insignificant actions of someone else. Don't allow others to control the direction of your life. Don't allow your emotions to overpower your intelligence.
Why are you yelling at me? Gee, guilty.
That was Morgan Freeman talking to you.
Man, why you picked that one today? She's talking to me, folks. If you appreciated today's conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Please give us some love. Make sure you share these conversations with your friends and family. Media Maya says, up until 1 a.m. and woke up at 5 a.m. I honestly love it. And we love you and appreciate you, Maya. Honestly, I know what goes into it. You are a gem to the Bermudian community. And when I say that you are the best at what you do, I mean it. And I don't say that just because you're in our team. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we continue to do our part to improve our community. Thanks again to the BAC Group, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sandra Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, please do make it a safe and a great day. A new outro. Here we go.